in economics, international trade and competitiveness. Why do we call it international trade? We call it international trade because it's trade between countries. It is international trade. You would want revision because you're not listening. You stop writing while I'm talking. Chapter 18 in Economics Today, international trade. Why do we call it international trade? We call it international trade because it's trade between countries. That means we are trading outside of our territory. That's why we call it what? International trade. You have, as a business, as a firm, you have a big firm and you are selling outside of Libya. You are a Libyan firm, but you are able to sell outside of Libya. That is international trade because it involves foreign customers. International, stop writing and pen down myself. We call it international trade because you have involved in selling to a foreign customer. That is international trade. So I'm going to read further. What is international trade? It is the exchange of goods and services across international territories. Territories means borders, outside of the Libyan border. That is international trade. Why do countries trade? Why do we have international trade? Number one, the need for importation, and some countries may not be able to produce some goods naturally. Some countries are endowed with natural resources, while other countries do not have them. So those countries that do not have natural resources will need these goods and they have to import. The first reason why we have, your head up please. The first reason why we have international trade is because some countries have natural endowment while other countries do not have. Some countries have natural resources, other countries do not have. So those countries that do not have will have to import from countries that have it. That's the first reason for international trade. Do we get the first point here? Do we get it or not, please?
Yes,
they import. The need for importation, as some countries may not be able to produce some goods naturally. They don't have the resources. Because they don't have the resources, they have to import. That's the first reason. The second one, the domestic market is limited, which means production within the economy will be on a smaller scale. To expect economies of scale, firms may have to sell outside their border. The second reason, you better be here.
Okay.
I don't understand why information becomes an enemy to you. Information is attentiveness. You are supposed to be attentive, but you want to do something else. The second point, they want to exploit economies of scale. You have to sell outside your border, because when you sell within your territory, it means you are restricted to selling to domestic customers. And domestic customers might get saturated. They are not much like you selling outside your border. When you only sell to Libyans, it is not the same as selling to people outside of Libya. It means you have the Libyans and you have other foreign customers. That allows you to exploit economies of scale because you'll be producing on a larger scale. The second reason why we have your head up. The second reason why we have international trade is to be able to exploit economies of scale. How do we exploit economies of scale? We exploit economies of scale only when we have a larger production. So if you are selling within your territory, it means you are restricted to domestic customers. In as much as you can sell to foreign customers, it means you have to produce more output. And that allows your fixed cost to start splitting in the numbers of output you are producing. You get economies of scale. You are able to exploit economies of scale if you sell internationally. But if you are selling domestically, you might not be able to exploit economies of scale because you might be producing on a smaller scale. To exploit economies of scale, you have to produce on a larger scale. That's the second point. The third one, the climate and the soil of some countries might not be suitable to produce certain goods. There's the need for importation. Some countries do not have the land. You know, we have agriculture. You know what agriculture is, right?
Yes.
Agriculture. Some countries might not be able to farm. They don't have the soil. They don't have the climate. As a result of that, it is difficult for them to farm. And when we talk about agriculture, agriculture means the planting of crops, the rearing of animals for the benefit of man. No, it's not about that. It's about listening. You don't listen when you are moving around. In a conference, you move around. People listen when people talk. It's just a law of communication, encoding and decoding. Information is being passed. One of the reasons why information is not effective is because the encoder or the decoder is distracted. You don't make noise, you don't move around. You listen more. Can you put your head up, please? This is the second time I'm telling you that. The next time I'm going to make you stand up. The one I'm talking about is this. Some countries, because they do not have the soil or the climate to produce, that makes them to have to do importation. That's the third one. The fourth one, consumers demand more than goods available domestically in relative to choice. Let's assume there's no international trade. It means I might not be able to use an iPhone because Libya does not produce iPhone. But with international trade, I'm able to buy an iPhone and you are able to buy whatever you want to buy. So international trade allows us to buy those things that are not produced here from other countries. Do we get the point, please?
No.
Do we get the point or not?
No.
Yes.
With international trade, it means whatever is not being produced here, you can get it from abroad. So the point here is that we consumers, do you want to teach here? Do you want to come teach us? Then you keep quiet. The next point is, if consumers, as consumers, we have information, we are aware about products outside our country, and we need them. So because they cannot be produced here, we have to import them. That is the demand. Consumers now know more about goods and services that are produced abroad. The internet is there. It makes, the world is global. So we know things that are even not here, then we can buy them. So whatever we use that is not here, it means there's importation. Do you get it now or not, please? The next one, an economy benefits from the skills or traditions of other workforce with international trade. It means, as a Nigerian, I am here. I'm able to work with a Libyan because this is an international school. It belongs to a Libyan. So I'm able to bring my own expertise, my skills to work here. That is what international trade will do. Do we get it or not, please?
Yes.
The next one, an economy generates more employment via companies selling their goods and services abroad, as this increases the demand for goods and services. With international trade, a Libyan firm is able to sell outside of this country. And because a Libyan firm is able to sell outside of this country, it does more of exportation. Because it does more of exportation, it will be able to employ more workers. Because the demand for labor is a what? Is a derived demand. People are employed because the demand for their goods or services are increasing. So if the demand for your goods are increasing, based on the fact that you have foreign customers, it means you can employ more Libyans to work for you. Do we understand the point here?
Yeah.
The next one, government itself. It is also beneficial to the government of Libya because with international trade, exporting firms from Libya will be able to employ more workers. Exporting firms from Libya will be able to make more profit. Making more profit means exporting firms in Libya will be generating corporation tax. They have to pay tax to the government, and those that are employed have to pay income tax too. The point about this is that government revenue would increase. How is government revenue increasing there? They are exporting firms. Those firms in Libya will be able to export outside of Libya. And those firms will be able to employ Libyans to work because the demand for labor is what? A derived demand. So both corporation tax and income tax would increase government revenue. As a result of that, the government of Libya will be able to spend on public finance, like road, healthcare, education, and the rest, because its revenue is increasing, based on the fact that companies in Libya are employing more workers. Do we get it or not? Your head up, please. Do we get it or not? Any question about that? Any question about it? No, good. So we go to exporting and importing, which involves international trade. What is exporting? Exporting means you are selling to foreign customers. That is what exporting is. You produce here. Exporting means you are selling to foreign customers. Exporting. Then we have visible export. For visible export, it simply means those things that we can see, that are physical and handy. We can touch them, we can see them. These are visible exports. That means we are selling goods that are physical like this, like laptop, to foreign customers. Then we have importing. Importing means we are buying from a foreign business. Importing means what? We are buying from a foreign business. Then we have visible imports, which means we are buying some goods that are physical, like laptop, cars from a foreign business. Then we have the balance of trade. Why do we call it BOT? BOT is the difference between visible export and visible import. BOT is what? The difference between visible export and visible import. That's the difference. So BOT is export of goods minus import of goods. We have BOT deficit, we have BOT surplus. It is BOT deficit if our import of goods are greater than the export of goods. And we have BOT surplus if our export of goods are greater than import of goods. We're going to talk further about that in the next class.